What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. What a Thanksgiving weekend. Great football. You know I got to jump on and talk about the game, Ohio State versus Michigan, Ohio State versus TTUN, that team up north, the team I now call CSU, Connor Stalions University. The title of this video is going to be Jim Harbaugh is a dirty, stinking cheater. You know why? Because he is. And it ticks me off. It does. It really does. At first it didn't. But then I'm thinking about kind of everything that goes into this. And I'm an Ohio State fan. We'll get to that. But think about several years ago. Ohio State is just owning Michigan every year. I mean, really for 20 years. The entire Tressel, Urban Meyer era. Then the COVID year hits. Jim Harbaugh is literally coaching for his job. And that year, this actually ticks me off more than anything. I lost a ton of respect for Jim Harbaugh in 2020. Michigan's having a crap year. Everybody's depressed because of COVID. And Michigan doesn't play that game versus Ohio State. Because a bunch of guys have runny noses. And I know, look, a bunch of games were canceled that year. I understand. But you play that game. All right? People need that game. And you take your whooping. That's what was going to happen in 2020. Take your whooping, okay? So that was cowardly to me. We'll get to the cheating stuff. So think about it. But it all kind of plays into everything I'm talking about. So Jim Harbaugh is coaching for his job. They have a horrible year, COVID year. So what do you start doing? Or maybe what do you keep doing? I don't know. We'll find out, maybe. Let's send Connor Stalions to all these games. You have one game that really matters if you're Michigan. One game. Ohio State. That's the only game that matters each and every year because normally the teams are both really good. You win that game, that's your path to the Big Ten championship, college football playoff, so on and so forth. So you send this kid all around, getting the signs and all that. And let me tell you something. Last year, watching Ohio State, Michigan, I couldn't believe how poorly Ryan Day coached that game. And then it was like a different team versus Georgia. And it just makes you wonder what Michigan knew. And by the way, I'm not saying Michigan wasn't good the last couple years, but guess what, Michigan? You lose the benefit of the doubt when you cheat like you did. Okay, we're America's team. You're playing the victim card, blah, 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 blah. It's so weak. You cheat, and now you're the victims? And hey, everybody cheats. I get it in different ways. Ohio State cheated. Remember years ago with the tattoos? Tattoos. I mean, Jim Tressel, one of the greatest coaches in Ohio State history, lost his job because of that. Terrell Pryor, who else? Suspended. Was it Beanie Wells? I can't remember that year. Jim Tressel lost his job over some tattoos. You're sending dudes to games on the sideline. Allegedly, we'll see if we ever find out all this information. But last year, I'm watching that game. I'm thinking, Ryan Day is just coaching this game horribly. And then they played Georgia, and Ohio State probably should have won that game, let's be honest. And you just wonder what Michigan knew. And that ticks me off. It should tick everybody off. So Michigan playing the victim card, no. That's just BS. That's why if there's any karma in this world, Ohio State deserves to win this game. Now, I don't have a good feeling about this game tomorrow, which is actually a good thing because the last couple of years I had a good feeling and Ohio State lost. I also, from a gambling standpoint, I love the fact that Ohio State is getting the hook 3.5. So I will bet Ohio State, but again, I don't feel great. I feel like my hand is shaking here, so I'll switch it up. Okay. But let's get into this even more so, all right? And for you guys saying, okay, Charlie, you're an Ohio State fan. I am, but I actually really respect the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry a lot. I grew up in Toledo, Ohio, which is the epicenter of the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. You're in Ohio. I mean, the end of my street is the state of Michigan, literally. So you're only about 40 minutes from Ann Arbor. That game meant so much. And in the 90s, we took the whooping, right? The John Cooper era. Every year, Ohio State's 11-0, 10-1, whatever it is. And that 8-3 Michigan team led by Lloyd Carr just always ruined their season. So I don't want you saying, Charlie, you're a Michigan hater. I'm actually not. I covered Michigan a lot for 2 years in 06, 07. A lot of Michigan football games during the Jake Long, Mike Hart, Chad Henne era, Mario Manningham, Lloyd Carr. I got to cover Lloyd Carr's last game ever, the bowl game when they beat Tim Tebow in Florida down there in Orlando. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the game and for the rivalry, which is why it pisses me off. I remember a couple years ago, actually, we had Orlando Pace on our radio show after Michigan beat Ohio State in 2021. And I said to O Pace, he obviously superstar at Ohio State. I'm an Ohio State fan. Didn't play, obviously. But I said, I hate to say this, but I actually think Michigan needed to win that game. Like, it doesn't bother me because the rivalry has to mean something again. And now the rivalry means something again. For 20 years, I know you had that game in 06, that was great. But for essentially 2 decades, Ohio State just owned Michigan during the Tressel and the Urban Meyer era. So I'm actually glad that Michigan is good again. And I like Jim Harbaugh, in theory. I used to like Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is a fantastic coach. NFL, college, I love his old school mentality. I hate the fact that he was a coward in 2020 and didn't play the game during COVID. That was BS. If you can field enough players to play that game, you do it. That game is too important, and you take your whooping. That's what you do. You take your whooping, and next year you go out and you give your whooping. That pissed me off. And then everything here with Connor Stallions and Michigan ticks me off too, because you lose the benefit of the doubt. And again, I'm not this person saying Ohio State would have 100% won those games. I'm not, but we'll never know. And when you cheated like that, you lose the benefit of the doubt, and we'll never know what would have happened in those games. Michigan may have won those games. I'm being honest. I have no clue. But it ticks you off if you feel like a team was doing something inappropriate. And by the way, we all know that there's ways that you can try to steal signs legally, and there's sportsmanship to this about trading signs with other teams and all that. We all get that. Okay, that's different than going against the rule book and sending this dude to the games. And by the way, I have friends who are like, oh, it didn't mean anything. It didn't do anything. Oh, really? Why would you do it then? Why would you send this kid to games for 2 years if it wasn't really working? And somebody can check on this. I saw it a couple weeks ago. But what was the record of Michigan against the spread? Something like 19-20. They were right around 500. 21-22 seasons. It was something like 10 games over 500 against the spread. Come on now. You don't do this if it isn't giving you a substantial advantage. And when you talk about listening to other people around the country discuss this, a lot of media pundits who've talked to these coaches are saying, no, this would have been a huge advantage for Michigan, a huge advantage for Michigan. So Jim Harbaugh, with your milk drinking and us against the world and we're the victims, shut up. You lost the benefit of the doubt. Even though you're a great coach, I didn't lose all respect for you, but I lost a lot, especially when you were just cowardly during COVID and didn't even play the game that everybody wanted, everybody needed. Everybody's depressed during COVID. You need that game. Thanksgiving weekend, something everybody has parties for. Ohio State, Michigan parties in Toledo. It's the biggest thing in school. Kids wear half Michigan gear, half Ohio State gear for that week. There's flags 50-50 in my hometown for that game, and you were cowardly because your team sucked. Oh, COVID, and you knew you were going to get blasted probably 70-7 that year. And then all this cheating crap also. So I titled this video, Jim Harbaugh, Dirty, Stinking Cheater. And again, if there's any karma in this world, Ohio State will win this game tomorrow to make up for all that crap that Little Blue was doing for the last couple years. And again, you say, Charlie, you're an Ohio State fan. I am. I've admitted that for years. But guess what? When Ohio State cheated with some BS tattoos, okay, Jim Tressel didn't coach a game at Ohio State ever again. Terrell Pryor, see ya. Was it Beanie Wells? I can't remember. Either way, that just destroyed Ohio State for a couple years. Then Urban Meyer gets there. But they weren't bowl eligible that 1 year. They went undefeated. So this is a frickin' slap on the wrist for Michigan for gaining a real advantage, by the way. Ohio State gave some tattoos and some free tattoos and whatever to players that were already there. Michigan is scouting these games and getting a huge advantage. It's BS. So anybody out there, Michigan playing the victim card and we're America's team, that's crap. All right? All right, I don't want to bring God into sports, but God should want Ohio State to win this game. Okay, even though God really shouldn't care about the outcome of sports, if God does, then Ohio State will win this game. Jim Harbaugh, dirty, stinking cheater. And you're going to get yours tomorrow in the game. Love it, guys. Comment, like, subscribe. This is mostly a St. Louis Cardinals baseball channel, but I got to jump on for the game. I'm passionate about it. It's really the only game I really care about all year in sports, honestly, at this point, as a 41-year-old dorky dad of two. All right, let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Are you going to be very partisan when it comes to this? Oh, Ohio State fans agree, Michigan fans disagree. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Shut up, Michigan fans, you freaking cheaters. All right, have a great Thanksgiving weekend, everybody. Peace.